Hi there, this is Maya from Inspired Life, and today I'm bringing you June numerology forecast. So let's get to it. So last month we may have had a lot of action going on, things were happening, you were taking action, you were doing all the things, opportunities were flowing, so you might have feel a lot has been done, and now you're feeling, oh my god, so many things have moved, and what now? In this year number 5, June is number 2. Actually 11, which is a master number, and it kind of makes sense because master numbers are always about some big life lessons. And honestly, we are currently in the middle of eclipses. We're in the eclipse season. We are also going through Mercury retrograde, so no wonder things are coming up that need to be dealt with, that need to be processed. If that's something that's happening to you, you might want to take a breath, slow down, get yourself grounded, and see what is coming up to work through that. As life, we have ups and downs, okay? So that's perfectly normal. After an action-packed month, and this year a lot is going on, so last month was quite an action-packed month. As we go up, we have to go down. So June is a good time to slow down. This is my tip number 1. Take a breath, stop whatever you're doing, take a step back and observe. See what happened, see what was going on. It's also a good time to do a mid-year evaluation. What have you been doing for the past 5 months? It is a good time to kind of stop and slow down and see what came up, what have you accomplished. What you haven't accomplished, that's fine too, because it's been a crazy year. We're going through so many changes, and it's normal to feel even overwhelmed and anxious about things that are going on. But you feel like last month things started moving, and it's okay to kind of take a step back and really see where you're at right now and revise your plans, revise your goals. So maybe set some goals for the next 6 months. Tip number 2 would be consider collaborations and partnerships. Remember, 2 is a pair, so you might want to do a project with someone. If something like that is coming up for you, you might want to consider that. You don't have to do everything alone. There are maybe some people that can help you out. So it's a good time to look around and see which people do you resonate with, who could you collaborate with, who could you form a partnership with. Take a moment and see what is possible. You might even have some opportunities come into your lap that are like that. And that's a sign to take a look and consider that. For example, I was invited to collaborate with an organization in Paris to teach a workshop on numerology. So I was very excited, and that's not something that we planned, but it happened, and that's why it was a good time to do that. So any kind of partnership is a good way to go. Tip number 3, in alignment with partnerships, it's also about relationships. So your personal relationships, not only romantic, but also relationships with your family, your loved ones, your friends. That might be something that you will be focusing on more, considering most of June will be in Mercury retrograde. And I talked about this before. I will link a video on that topic, how to survive Mercury retrograde. It doesn't really have to be that bad, but I would really advise you to be mindful of your communication with your loved ones and with people in general. Your relationships might be challenging this month, so be aware what is coming through, what people are telling you, how you're communicating with other people. Mercury is a planet of communication, and it's in Gemini, which is also ruled by Mercury. So communication will be key in your relationships with other people. So look at your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, your relationships with your friends, your family, even business relationships. All of this will be kind of in the focus, and since we'll be resolving a lot of things during the eclipse season, and the Mercury retrograde is gonna bring stuff up that we have not dealt with, or maybe that needs to be dealt with. So take some time to honor your relationships, spend quality time with your loved ones, resolve any issues from the past, some conflicts or something that is coming up. it's a good time to work through that. Don't ignore it. Take some time to really deepen your relationships, and that's going to help you have a more harmonious vibe in this whole month, you know, if you take some time. And don't get sucked into any drama, don't get sucked into any conflict. It's not about you, it's really just a communication breakdown that might happen. So yeah, it's nothing major. You don't have to freak out, but just be mindful of how you communicate with other people. That is very, very important. Tip number 4 would be to do some inner work. As I said, last month you may have done a lot of things. You have pushed forward, you started projects, maybe you started a new job, maybe even a new relationship, you moved house, or whatever that is for you. Now is the time to stop and breathe, as things will come up. Remember, it is an eclipse season. It is Mercury retrograde. Things will arise to the surface that need to be dealt with. So work with a therapist, work with a healer, hire a coach, or simply do the work yourself. Talk it out, journal, whatever you need to do to get through this and to process all of these emotions is essential, because then July will be amazing. The more you work through these things, the easier it gets. I will tell you from my personal experience, before I was bottling up all of these emotions and I was totally keeping it all in, and that would result in major breakdowns. But I learned that if I take the time to honor my emotions, to process them thoroughly, it actually passes quicker, and that's how I'm able to stay in balance most of the time, no matter what is happening. I am not always high vibing. I do have breakdowns still, obviously, because that's life, you know, things happen and shitty things happen. So it's good to honor that, but use the tools, use EFT, use meditation, use breath work, use all of the tools that are available to us these days. You have your YouTube. I have lots of videos on this topic. I even have a meditation course for beginners that is absolutely free that you can check out if you have trouble starting a meditation practice. Whatever inner work that you can do this month is really, really important. Don't ignore it. Take some time for yourself. Go within, spend time in contemplation, and do the work. It's really gonna help you out. It's gonna help you be stronger and wiser and have more clarity of where you want to go next, and that is very, very important. And my final tip for this month, even though you need to slow down and maybe there won't be a lot of action going on, that doesn't mean that you can't do anything. You might even still want to do things. Mind you, this is a general vibe. I really recommend that you check your personal numerology month, because that will give you an idea where you are in the cycle, because that is also important to look at. I will also link this video where I talk about planning with numerology above, so you can check it out, because yeah, it really helps you to look at where you are in the cycle and then use the general vibe of the month of how you can make this work. So June is a slower month, but it doesn't mean you can't take action. Since we have a lot of retrogrades, I'm not an expert in this actually, but I know that we have Saturn retrograde, I think, and Neptune retrograde. There's a lot of retrogrades, which means yeah, we need to work through some stuff. My final tip for this month would be think before acting. Don't rush into action just because you think you have to, just because you think, oh, I have to get this done. Okay, yes, you can get it done, but take a moment before you do. Make sure that everything is in place. Make sure that your messaging is clear, what you want to express is clear, where you're going is clear. So making sure you have that plan before taking action is really, really important, and will save you a lot of trouble, a lot of time, a lot of energy, because if you rush into things without planning, without thinking, you might have miscommunication issues, you might have some technical issues, some conflicts, you know, things can happen. Better have things in place before acting. So unlike last month where I would tell you, go, 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 just go for it, don't think about it, just do it. And this month, Yeah, you can take action, but don't rush. Don't rush. It's not a big deal. Take more time. It's gonna be worth it because you're setting foundations for the next few months. You know, you have planted the seeds last month. Now just tweak your strategy a little bit. Think what could be your next step. Okay, so don't rush. It's all good. It can still be an amazing month. It's a month of learning, growing, inner work, personal development. A lot of good things can come out of it. You know, maybe you will even pair up with someone. Remember, 2 is all about relationships, so you might find love. Who knows? I would be really happy to hear from you at the end of the month and let me know how you're doing. And if these tips resonate, comment below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and I totally appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.